This is a goose feather tree, and it's made with dyed goose feathers. They're usually white, and they dye them a deep green. And then you have the red berries on the end, and the goose feathers are wrapped around each wire and as you wrap them, they spread out, and it looks like a evergreen branch. Well, and then you put the branches together, and depending upon how tall it is, it gets more complicated. They were available anywhere from just a couple feet tall all the way up to 8 feet. And the larger the tree, the more elaborate the branches became. And it was a really nice way to have a tree if you couldn't afford or didn't have access to real trees, because especially on the plains in Nebraska, we didn't have a lot of trees, although we do know that in the 1880s they were shipping trees into this area from Wisconsin or gathering them around the Platte River. Okay, well, these are what's called scraps, and scraps would be used for a lot of different things. They're lithographic scraps. They came in sheets of various sizes, and you would cut the different pieces apart, and you would use them to make ornaments. You might use them to make a scrapbook or an autograph book that you would give as a present. They were highly sought after and highly collectible because they were so colorful. It was kind of a new thing that became popular. I'm not exactly sure when they first became available, but once they became available, they were a big hit. And you would trade them like baseball cards. You would share them with your friends. You would use them for Christmas, but you'd use them for different times of the year, for Valentine's, and there were Easter scraps as well. So there was a lot of different things that you could use the scraps for. We do the scrap ornament making in the Meliason House as a part of our event, and it is one of the most popular activities we have as a part of this event. Well, we've gone back from 1892 in Railroad Town at the Meliason House to 1861 at the Mink Cabin. And as you can see, hanging by the window are a pair of stockings, mismatched, of course. But that would be probably the extent of the decorations. There would not be a lot involved. And in some cases, the family might not even celebrate Christmas because it was a very hard work day. If you wanted supplies, any special things in the early settlement time period, you would have to go to Columbus or to Omaha to get those items. You might have treasures such as little bits of candy, special fruits, maybe a bolt of cloth or some new cooking pot come back as presents for the period, which would be greatly received. And then the very next day, it would be back to work. Probably you see in this time period a lot more homemade gifts. To get a pair of mittens or a pair of stockings would be a treasure. For a little girl to get a homemade dolly would be a treasure. So it was a simpler time. Would hang a stocking up as a way to receive presents. So that is about the extent.